Hello, my beloved students. Today's lesson is about metals. So, most of the elements that you can find on the periodic table are metals. So, if you look at this picture of the periodic table, you can see that the blue boxes represent metals, while the red ones represent the non-metals, and the ones represent the metalloids. So most of the elements in the periodic table, or three-fourths of the elements on the periodic table are metals. They are found between group 1 till 12. All of those elements are metal except for hydrogen. And you can find some metals can be found at groups 13 till 15. Metals have many physical properties that are characteristic to metals, like they are shiny. They can be pulled into wires and I can hammer them and form thin sheets out of metals. Metals make good conductors, so we use them in making wires and making cooking pots because they are good conductor of electricity and thermal energy. Also, another characteristic or property of metals that they have luster. So the word luster means the ability of a metal to reflect light. It's very shiny. It can reflect a lot of light. So this is one of the very important characteristic of metals. Of course, gold is very shiny and it's a good conductor of thermal energy and heat, but it's very expensive to be used as in making wires and making cooking pots. So instead we use copper in making electric wires. Also, metals can be ductile. Ductility is the ability of a substance to be pulled into thin wires. So ductility is the ability to pull the metal and form thin wires from it. So gold is very ductile, that if you have like 1 gram of gold, it can be pulled to make a wire that is 3 kilometers long. Another property of metal is that it's malleable. Malleability is the ability of a substance to be hammered or rolled into sheets. We can hammer them. I can hit them with a hammer until they become flat and turn into sheet. All metals are solid at room temperature except one metal, which is mercury, is liquid at room temperature, and we use it in making thermometers because it can be seen easily through the thermometer. Metals also have other physical properties like density. They have high melting point and high boiling point than other elements in the periodic table. So if we are talking about chemical properties of metal, we know that metals in the same group have similar chemical property. Like for example, when we can divide the groups of metals into group 1, which is called alkali metal. So group 1, we call them alkali metal. They are found at the far left side of the periodic table. They are lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, and francium. They are similar, so we put them in the same group. We call them alkali metals. Alkali metals are very, very, very reactive. So they react quickly with oxygen and water vapor in air. So we have to store them away from air and put them in oil in order to stop the reaction with oxygen and water vapor in air. So they explode when you put them. You cut a small piece of them and you put them in water, they explode violently. Alkali metal have also some similar chemical property, like they are shiny, but they are so soft that you can cut them with a knife. You can use a knife to cut them. And they have the lowest density among all metals. The second group in the periodic table, we call it alkaline earth metals. They include beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, and radium. They are like alkali metals, alkaline earth metals. They react with other elements, but not as quickly as alkali metals do. We don't find pure alkaline earth metals, so we always find them in combination with other elements forming compounds. Alkaline earth metals are also soft and silvery. They have low density, but their density is greater than alkali metal. Then we have the elements, the transition elements or the transition metals. You can find them starting from group 3 till group 12. We find in two blocks. The first block, you will find it in the center of the periodic table, and the other block will be the two rows below or at the bottom of the periodic table. Many colorful materials contain small amount of transition element like emerald. It is green in color because it contains small amount of chromium, which is a transition element. Granite is red because of the iron in it. Transition elements have many good qualities that make them useful to use them in building buildings and making things because they are stronger than other uh, metals, than alkali metals and alkaline earth metals. They have high melting point, higher density than other metals. And also they are less reactive. Some transition elements, you can find them in nature as free, okay, and they can be in a pure form because they didn't form any combination with any elements and they didn't form compounds, so we can find them in a pure form. Because their density and strength and they resist corrosion, we use them in, like iron, we make from it good building materials. Copper and silver and nickel, we use them in making coins. So they have a lot of good qualities that make them suitable for different jobs to do. Lanthanides and actinides series, those are the two rows under the periodic table. We the scientists put them under the periodic table because if we put them in the middle, it will make the periodic table too wide to fit. So they left a space for them at the bottom of the periodic table. Lanthanate series elements are used to make strong magnets. Plutonium is an actinide series element which we use it as a fuel in some nuclear reactors. If we look at the periodic table, we'll find that some patterns keep on repeating all over again. Like, for example, potassium, and potassium is found in group 1 alkali metal. It have more luster and more malleable and conduct electricity better than all of the element in the same period. So the metallic property decrease as we go from the left to right side of the periodic table. So the strongest metals are found at the left, and then the metallic property become decrease until it reach the metalloids and then reach the non-metals. So at the right, they will have no metallic property. That's it for today. Thank you.